Okay, let's get underway. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on law firm productivity trends and the value of managing your practice from Outlook. We're delighted to have so many of you on the session today. Really, thanks for joining us. My name is David Hepburn, and I've been with Actionstep for nearly a year and run the company day to day. I have spent more than 10 years building great software for professionals such as doctors and lawyers, and my passion is making a difference in helping our customers deliver better outcomes for their clients. Duncan is one of our key product managers and has spent over 6 years at Actionstep developing our platform and solution, and he's going to give you a demonstration of our new add-in a bit later. So here's what I plan to cover with you today. We'll talk about some major lawyer productivity trends and what impacts productivity in your workday. And these provide the context for why managing your practice from Outlook is really valuable. Obviously, remote working is more important than ever in light of COVID-19 and all of the global drama we're currently experiencing. And we'll also discuss the implications of Microsoft's cloud strategy and how it can benefit your firm. We're going to look at how our add-in enables you to manage your practice from Outlook and get control of your inbox. We are focused on delivering features and functions that meet you where you are. This is a key ethos for Actionstep going forward and how we make it easier for lawyers and others, paralegals and administrators and practice managers, to do what they need to do. Most technology, particularly technology for lawyers, requires you to leave the familiar and learn a new system or way of doing things. That's why our ambition has been sparked to try and meet lawyers where they already are. With our technology, rather than constantly forcing you to leave the familiar and navigate somewhere else, we're bringing core case and matter management functions to wherever you are. That includes your mobile device. Here are some of the trends that I'd like to talk about today. How lawyers, paralegals, and administrators spend their days, the systems that you spend most of your time in. How juggling multiple tasks or context switching all the time is killing productivity. Where you spend your time. We're doing a lot more remote working, globally, and also obviously given the coronavirus challenges at the moment, this is more important than ever, being able to connect and interact with teammates as well as clients from the applications that you live in. Also a major trend around why people are using mobile apps for the things that they actually could do on the desktop. So why we pick up our phone to do banking rather than use the online version. On a day-to-day basis, where do you spend most of your time? In email or Word documents, matter case management systems, billing systems, calendars, there's all sorts of places that we, as practicing lawyers, paralegals, and administrators, spend our time. Do you jump between these systems all the time? Or do you focus on one and then step out to then focus on another? Where do you do your admin as you go, or do you catch up at the end of your day? These are all opportunities and challenges for us where we have to context switch between systems. According to feedback from our users, it turns out that many of you spend most of your time in places that you're most productive, such as email and Word. So we know the systems where we spend most time. How productive are we in those systems? Are we doing what we need to do in one place, finishing and moving on? Or are we jumping between these systems, sending an email in Outlook, updating a file and case management system so it knows that you've sent out an email, editing a document and saving it into a client file or matter, and then going back to Outlook to send it to someone else? Well, from what I hear, the latter is most common for you guys, and that is called context switching. Even when you aren't doing it deliberately, the way we work today in multiple systems and multiple devices in multiple places with colleagues grabbing your attention all the time makes it impossible to avoid context switching. Our job at Actionstep is to try and reduce it, and the truth is that our brains are not capable of focusing on more than one thing at a time. And changing these lanes is obviously killing productivity. Just go through a few little insights and stats that we've managed to gather in our research around this. I mean, 80% of all information in firms exists within email. The information obviously exists, it's just not in the right place. It's not always in your matter management system or your case management system, and it's hard to get it into the right place. Real-time updates are best as they are most accurate and others can act on it. So if something's sitting in your inbox and not in the matter, it's hard for someone else to interact with that information or document that's sitting in your inbox. It takes a lot of effort to go to another system and replicate a copy of the information, and we know that this is the context switching that I was just talking about a moment ago. There is a disconnect between where the information is, such as email, and where people are being asked to file it in practice management systems. This was a little quote from the American Bar Association. All attorneys should be tracking their time and updating files contemporaneously and recording time every day. It is too difficult to try to recreate your week or month at the end of the billing cycle. If you try, you're almost certain to make inaccurate estimates of spent time, of time spent. You know, 1 in 4 workers fails to comply with document management retention rules. And again, in this age of security protocols and key compliance, this is really fundamental. And typical law firms are missing almost 50% of the information from their files. That goes back to this point of a lot of information living in emails and other file storage areas rather than in and alongside the matter or case. Our third trend is a topic many of you will be familiar with these days, and we're all spending less time in the office. Obviously, right now it's enforced. You know, I think one of the main things that we've discovered from our over 10,000 users is they tell us that the pressure to be efficient is hindered by the amount of time they spend out of the office. Whether you're in court, at meetings, or simply spending time getting closer to your clients, balancing your work requirements and time away from your desk creates a major efficiency pressure. The American Bar Association's Legal Technology Survey report found a whopping 96% of lawyers use a smartphone to do some amount of legal work. There's a difference between answering a few emails and calls from outside the office and being a truly mobile lawyer, being able to work and access anything you need as a lawyer from anywhere. Obviously, as a cloud-based legal software firm, what I'm interested in is when productivity on mobile devices or laptops becomes equal to or greater than working at your desk. And what you should all be interested in is the same thing, because realistically, that's what more and more law firms are moving towards. And the benefits are huge. In a Thomson Reuters 2018 dynamic law firm study, it showed what separates the most profitable firms from their less profitable peers is not their rates, it's the number of billable hours they actually charge for. It stands to reason that the more client engagement activities you do, and the less time spent on what we call administrivia or admin busy work, will ultimately boost your profitability. As lawyers, there's enormous pressure to maintain and improve your own client relations. Getting closer to your clients means spending time with your clients in their offices or homes, really understanding the pain points and communicating with them regularly. Well, to reach that goal, we see law firms adopting more technology, and when used well, there are productivity and profitability gains, and it also enables lawyers to spend more time providing clients with real value, serving them well, and producing great work. Many firms choose to be completely virtual, where their teams work remotely, in some cases from all around the world. And obviously many of you are experiencing this activity today. We have many customers like this, and there are many benefits such as cost, flexibility, and access to talent. In the USA and Australian markets, approximately 16% of firms now are remote or virtual firms. Perhaps there will be more virtual firms after COVID-19 has forced us all to get used to working from home and operating within virtual teams. I'll just quickly touch on the mobile apps area. I think the trend here is really interesting, and we're showing a preference for using mobile apps to do things rather than a more detailed browser screens of the same product. You could be sitting at your computer and yet use your phone to do everyday things like transfer money, send a file, look up a contact. You might think the reason for this are linked to being out of the office more, but learning to use your mobile is actually a different activity altogether. It's actually more about how easy apps are to use. Mobile apps by design have to reduce down the amount of things you can do on them. They focus on the things people need to do the most frequently. So we at Actionstep are thinking about developing new systems and software from browsers or mobiles that enable you to prioritize key activities. One other key theme that's occurring out there is Microsoft's Office 365 strategy. I was recently in Chicago at the ABA Tech Show, and in one of the big seminar rooms, the presenter asked those in the room how many of them used Office 365, and nearly every hand in the room went up. There was probably 350 people in the room. So now, obviously, we're here to talk about managing your practice from Outlook, and this is enabled really by Microsoft's cloud strategy and their most recent online product suite, Office 365. Because of the cloud-based aspects of both of our products, it integrates much better with other cloud-based systems that lawyers use. Many of the issues lawyers have faced before can be limited. For example, having to check documents in and out, being able to collaborate on documents in real time, losing work because it didn't save to your server. So we are seeing many of our firms adopt Office 365 and the technology suite within it. Well, the latest statistics show that Office 365 now stores more than half of all the sensitive data that is stored in the cloud in the form of Outlook email content, Word documents, and Excel spreadsheets. So how can you manage your practice from Outlook? Well, we know from our session that Outlook and Word are the places lawyers spend most of their time. Firms need matter and client information in one place, and that one place is not Outlook and Word. Expecting lawyers like yourselves to tag and file documents into a centralized system of predetermined taxonomies is completely impractical. Lawyers find plenty of ways to get around required filing steps that lead to centralized file that's incomplete. So you guys are great at avoiding those painful activities. And so what happens is documents don't get filed in the right place. So we're focused on becoming a business management software system for lawyers and law firms that supports how they work and is accessible in the systems and places where you already spend most of your time. Some other business productivity and legal practice management systems have tried to do this, but they end up as simple email syncing. We're focused on bringing the key things you want to do in these applications you spend your time in. So you can see here, we're bringing real case management functionality to Microsoft 365, real ability to manage your documents, track time, and do real-time updates of your matters and cases. To give you an example of this, I want to talk to you about something we have been working on for some time and recently released. We have developed the most comprehensive Outlook add-in for Microsoft 365 available on the market today. It is built with how lawyers work in mind and is designed to take away that context switching so you can stay productive where you spend the most time. With Actionstep's Outlook add-in, you can stay in Outlook 365 while you update client files with relevant documents, communications and notes. You can review matter status, record time, assign tasks, and keep clients informed in real time. This reduces the productivity loss of moving between systems and improves the quality of data in your practice management system because real-time updates are more complete, timely, and accurate. Actionstep is now the only practice management system with a comprehensive Outlook 365 add-in for law firms, and this is the first version of the Office 365 add-in that we're going to show you today. Before Duncan takes you through installing and using the add-in, I want to take this opportunity to give you some further context about where Actionstep is going. Our purpose as a company is to make lawyers awesome. We have a deep respect for what you all do. You impact every milestone in our lives and businesses, and the difference you all make has a profound impact on your clients' personal and business success. It benefits everyone when you have the tools and the freedom to do your work really well. And that's what Actionstep aims to do, to give law firms the freedom and tools to evolve, grow, and be awesome. Based on a deep understanding of how lawyers work, this Outlook add-in aims to meet lawyers where they are in the places and systems where you spend the most productive time. letting you manage your practice and keep your work organized wherever you are on any device. So let's see it in action. I'm going to hand over to Duncan McDougall now, who's going to show you exactly how our add-in works.
Thank you very much, David. Now, starting off, here I have my desktop version of Outlook open. And to get the Actionstep add-in to show, first off, I'm going to select an email within my inbox, and then be able to choose to turn on the Actionstep panel. And this is how it appears. So it is a panel that will appear to the right-hand side of any email that you have selected. And within the desktop version, I can expand or contract that panel if I wanted to. I'm also able to use this pin to ensure that it stays there. So as I click from one email to another, that panel will stay there so I can consistently use it. Now, the first fundamental thing that you're going to want to do with the Actionstep panel is to assign your email, to save a copy of that email against your matter. To help you with this, Actionstep is going to show you suggestions. Based on the people who are in the email, it's going to give you different suggestions of different matters within your system to assign it to. And assigning the email is just a simple matter of clicking on the appropriate suggestion and it's saved through. If we haven't given you a suggestion that is appropriate, then you can still search for whatever you want. So you're able to search for the matter's name or for a matter's number to be able to find the matter that you're wanting to assign it against. And you can see up the top that it is showing progress. So Actionstep will save any attachments and the email to the matter as it's working through. And even while it is processing that, you are still able to interact with the rest of the panel to be able to view further details, etc. Now, just to show what I have done, if I go into my Actionstep system and look for that matter, I'm going to find that that has already been saved into my matter against the inbox. Here's a copy of that. You can see it's got the attachments and everything pulled through. Back in Outlook, once I have assigned an email to a matter, I'm able to see details about that matter within Outlook. I don't have to switch back to my Actionstep. And we've got a series of different tabs across the top to allow you to see different details. The first tab on the home page will give you the name, who it's currently assigned to, the step, primary participants, billing information. You can click into the parties to see all the parties who are involved with this particular matter. In file notes, you'll see any file notes that have been loaded up. Time entries will show any time that you have recorded against this matter, and tasks will show any tasks that you have loaded for the matter. You're also able to create these at any stage within the add-in. Whether you've assigned an email or not, you can use this plus icon at the top to be able to create a new contact, file note, task, time entry, and a SMS message. Options like the contact are nice and simple to be able to enter in. Just enter in the details that you need. And you can enter in phone numbers, addresses if you want to. Once you have the details you want, just click Save. Similarly to other options, file notes are a simple option to be able to put in a file note to record the details of what you're doing on this email. If something occurs and you want to record a file note or any other details that aren't related to the matter you're currently open to, you can actually deselect the matter, choose another one, and you can create a new file note for a different matter if you wanted to. Options like tasks, you're able to assign to other people. You can supply descriptions, due dates, and by default it's assigned to me, but I can actually choose to assign that to another person within my firm. And now they're going to get a notification telling them they have a new task to be done. If they're in Outlook and they're viewing the tasks, they're also able to complete this task quite easily. You'll see there's a little tick box beside the tasks to mark it as now complete. So if you have been assigned a task and you've now sent the email and want to update it, it's quick and simple to be able to do in Actionstep. The other option you're able to do through the add-in is to be able to organize your attachments. So you can see in this case, my email has a couple of attachments on it. And if I click on this email icon up in the top left of the add-in, I'm able to do further options like unassign the email or organize my attachments. I'll show you the organizing attachments first. As I go through, I can choose which ones I want to save. And I'm also able to rename them at the same time if I wanted to. I choose which document folder that I want to save them on. And if there were subfolders, I'll be able to select them. Once I'm happy, click Move, and these documents will now be saved into the File section, Document section of my Matter. As I pointed out, you can also click on the email icon to be able to unassign an email. If I've mistakenly assigned this email to the wrong matter, I can use this option to be able to do it. As I'm doing it, I do have the option to be able to delete this email from the matter as well, or I can actually leave a copy of that email still assigned to the matter, unassign it in Outlook, and that means I can now assign this email to more than one matter in Actionstep. Keeping track of which emails you have assigned to matters in Actionstep is easy. Looking over here, you can see these green icons in my inbox indicate a category that has been assigned to this email. So if I was to assign the email to a matter, you can see that the email now has an Actionstep category, and I've marked it green in my Outlook so I can easily see in my inbox which emails I have assigned. You've also got the option to be able to assign emails in bulk. By going up to the top toolbar, I can choose Assign Multiple Emails, which will open up a dialog window which I'll resize so it fits the screen, which will open up a dialog window. And in here, I'm able to search for any emails that I have in my system. I can search my inbox or sent items, and I'm able to select the ones that I want to assign, choose a matter, and assign them. And this is going to work away, working out to assign them, giving you progress as it goes. This can work in the background, so I can click away from this option and keep working if I wanted to, but once it's done, I can close it off. There are a few more functions that we also offer in our Outlook add-in, and you can see these when you go to compose a new email in Outlook. In this case, you can see the panel is appearing as well, and I'm able to assign this draft email to a matter if I wanted to. Again, notice how I can create any items regardless of whether this is assigned or not. Once I have assigned it, I'm able to do extra functions like assign a recipient. When I do this, it's going to show me the contacts that I have on my matter, and I can add them to the email that I'm preparing by just clicking on them. It's clever enough to realize that if you select a contact that has no email, it is going to let you know. If the contact I want to add is not on my matter, I'm still able to search for them and add them in. As well as being able to add recipients, I can also apply a template. Actionstep allows you to create email templates within the system, and whenever you apply these in Outlook, you can pre-populate the details of the email automatically. Now these will pull information directly from the matter, so the client name, the name of the property, etc. is all pulled directly in from the matter in question. This reduces human error, and the ability to be able to pre-populate your emails will speed up the amount of time that you spend writing out emails out to your clients. Lastly, I wanted to show you that the Actionstep add-in for Outlook will work across any platform. So here I've been working within my desktop version of Outlook, but I can switch to Outlook Online and I still have exactly the same functionality that I would have in the desktop version. And we also have the option available on a mobile phone. Here is my mobile phone. If I was to navigate and open up my Outlook, and looking at the different emails I have, if I open up an email in my inbox, not ticking but opening, I've got the ability to be able to assign these emails and access the same panel that you see for Outlook from within my mobile as well. By clicking on these three dots here, I'm able to see an options, and this includes the option to be able to open up Actionstep. And here I have that same view that I had within the plugin. So I'm able to search for or select a matter to be able to assign this to. And here's my matter. I'm able to navigate through it. Same functionality that we have within Outlook is here available on my phone. You can see it's still saving through attachments and everything else. So same functionality all on my mobile device.